Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Ross Johnston. The Tennessee Titans fell yesterday at home to the Los Angeles Rams 33-19. Cam Ward threw his first touchdown pass to rookie wideout Alec Iamaner, but the Titans' penalty struggles continued as they accounted for 10 total, one of which took away a punt return touchdown by Chimere Dike. The Tennessee Vols also lost at home this weekend to the Georgia Bulldogs in overtime, 44-41, after leading 21-7 early in the game. Quarterback Joey Aguilar went 24 of 36 for 371 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 picks in his first SEC game, and wide receiver Chris Brazzell had 177 yards and 3 touchdowns. Vanderbilt was able to pull off a big win over the weekend down at South Carolina, 31-7 over the Gamecocks. Quarterback Diego Pavia went 18 of 25 for 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Lastly, in Titans news, Jeffrey Simmons agreed to a revised contract, which gets him an extra $632,000 from a 17th game check he didn't receive under his previous contract, per Adam Schefter. For all your foundation repair waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once, and you're home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
It's Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you're watching on Zone TV, Twitch, or YouTube, Facebook Live, you see we have a third. We are live out here at Two Rivers Ford on Belinda Parkway in Mount Juliet, and we are kicking off the Fill a Ford food drive happening now through the end of this month, September 30th, right here at Two Rivers Ford. There's a lot to dive into, but we're joined now by Jack Stell, manager of community partnerships with Second Harvest Food Bank. And Jack, talk about your partnership with Two Rivers Ford and what you guys are doing out here.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me, gentlemen. I appreciate you being out here today. Two Rivers Ford is running a really incredible program now through the 30th of this month, where folks can donate food here at the dealership, or if they've got a business that they've involved in this food drive. We're just collecting non-perishable foods for Middle Tennesseans. The really great part about this is that Second Harvest is working with Mount Juliet Help Center to make sure all this food stays in the community out here. We serve the middle 46 counties of the state, about 20,000 square miles, and
wow.
Food has never been in more need in Tennessee. We got about 450,000 people in this area this year that'll face food insecurity. It's about 1 in 7 Tennesseans and 1 in 6 children. So there's never been a more important time to give, and we're just so incredibly grateful to Two Rivers for starting this partnership up with us.
Well, out here at Two Rivers, they're collecting non-perishable canned food items, and I can say, on my way in, I stopped off at Publix, so I will say this. Campbell's condensed soup, 10 cans for $10. 3 cans for $4, and then you have their canned vegetables, public canned vegetables, 10 cans for $10. So $14, you can bring out 13 cans and feed some families.
That's a heck of a deal.
And to me, that's what you need to be doing, is going out there for all those canned foods, either at Publix, Kroger, wherever they may be running some kind of promotion right now. Canned tuna, chicken, salmon. Protein bars is a new one. I didn't even think about protein bars.
Yeah, anything like that. Any peanut butter, any nut butter that's, calorically dense, high in protein, that kids can, kids, adults, everybody can get a lot of energy from a little bit of food.
Yeah. Boxes of cereal, dried beans or rice. I mean, all kinds of different options you guys can bring in to help. We got some Chef Boyardee.
Yeah.
He's not taking that home, I swear.
It was my favorite when I was a youngster. Yeah. I had to put it on the table.
And how long is this going on, just to remind everybody?
Yeah.
And is there any way businesses can pitch in?
Yeah, now through the 30th over at Two Rivers Ford, you're welcome to come by anytime and drop off your donations. And then if you're a local business interested in getting involved, you can reach out to Two Rivers Ford, and they'll help you. We got donation boxes down here you can collect for your office or your home. So there's plenty of ways to get involved.
And not only that, the Two Rivers Ford's making it easy on businesses because they're going to drop off the box, let you keep it until September 30th at your place of business, and then they'll come and pick it back up. So you don't even have to do any work. The Two Rivers will do all the work for you.
Transpo is done. All you got to do is swing by the grocery store and grab some non-perishables.
Well,
Try to make it as easy as possible, but kind of take us through that process. I've been part of that process over at Second Food Harvest, and just like how you guys divide up the food, how much volunteer work, how much people volunteering and actually putting in a lot of work behind the scenes that don't get a lot of credit.
Absolutely. The numbers are staggering, and we are so grateful to our volunteers. I know you've come out and hung out with us at the warehouse and done some food sorting. Yeah. So, I mean, anytime we get donations in, they all come in unsorted, and then we last year had volunteers donate a total of 75,000 hours to Second Harvest to help us sort this food, organize this food, and get it back out into the community to make sure the Middle Tennesseans around us have the food they need, not just to survive, but to thrive. So, I mean, we've got about 150 people working in the organization. Last year distributed a very casual 47 million pounds of food across Middle Tennessee.
Wow. That is wild. Well, we really appreciate it, Jack, and we'll be out here all day. 3HL's up next. We appreciate everything Second Harvest Food Bank does for the community as well.
Thank you, gentlemen. Really appreciate it.
No problem,
Jack, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you guys want to participate, you can call Two Rivers Ford right now, 615-889-9215, and ask for Tammy Jacobs, or email at tworiversford@gmail.com. All right, Blaine.
Yeah.
We got the good news, the positive stories out of the way.
Yeah. Second Food Harvest and Two Rivers Ford.
Yeah. Talk about, I mean, I watched all 41 snaps of Cam Ward.
Oh, you watched all 41 of them?
41 passes.
Oh.
Not all the runs.
Oh, he threw 41 times?
No, he got sacked quite a few times. But talk about what you saw from yesterday's game overall from the team, and did you see any kind of improvement from week 1 to week 2?
Well, if you're talking about in reference to Cam Ward, I don't know if he can ever really exceed any expectation. I just feel like he's a guy that's going to just keep getting better every game, learning from good plays as well as bad plays, especially that spectacular Elikai Manor touchdown across his body. Hey, did I pick Elikai Manor as this guy? Oh, we need to go pull that up, Ross.
I thought Ross was the one.
I did.
You said, I think you said Chick.
I think I said Chick. Okay. I was just making sure.
Hold on. I can pull that up real quick.
Alec Alamander. Okay, yes.
I said Alec, and I said in the red zone.
Yes, Ross called it all day long. Except you didn't say he was going to throw it across his body all the way to the other side of the field.
You said Chig, I said Pollard.
Oh, man. That is a great call there, Ross. He didn't even mention it at all. Dude. I knew somebody got it because I was like, man, what did I say? Yeah, so, it's really just it's just kind of discouraging. It's just that the Titans, in my mind, when I watch them, just big picture is we just don't have enough, and we find ways to lose. A good example is this: at halftime, we're up 13-10. Naturally, Stafford threw that horrific interception. Bart, I don't even know what he's looking at. He was there the whole time. But we're up. And I go, why does it feel like we're losing, Kirby?
Yeah.
Because that was telling me the scoreboard wasn't telling you the true, what was going on in the game. And to me, eventually it happened. And, you can say for all these different reasons, but they were the better team. And I think they won by about the amount they should have won, maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, I just don't see some guys got better. I mean, Elikai Manor shows he's got him and DK, the draft picks, Gunnar Ham even a little bit that he participated in, as well as Cam Ward being the quarterback. So Femi, I didn't see a lot of things there from his point of view, but I think we're looking at Cam Ward and all the young players they want to contribute, or new players. And right now they're not up to speed, but they are getting better. And some veteran guys are going to lose out. I mean, Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson, I just think they're going to now keep moving forward with the young players and see where they can go with them.
Well, and especially
disappointed in Calvin Ridley a little bit too. That I said he was a 1B, but I think he gets in his own head to a certain extent, and when things don't go well early for him, and I think mental toughness may not be just for him, but also the entire team. The mental toughness, when you get knocked down, your biggest response is how are you going to respond? Are you going to get up and just stand there, or are you going to get up and you're going to throw a punch? See,
I don't know.
That's the NFL.
I talked about today. The only guy that felt like that it was really throwing some punches out there was Tony Pollard all dang day. That man was launching his body, and I don't know what the edge rushers or the Rams defense said to him in pregame, but he was playing like a man possessed. Not only when he was running the ball, he was running angry.
Yeah, he was.
But also when he was asked to chip or block. I mean, he hit, I believe it was Jared Verse so hard that it actually hit him away from Dan Moore into a rushing lane.
I know. I know
exactly but he went flying onto his side, and I'm like, man, my God, he is angry today.
It wasn't even just that. It's just the fact it made him look like he was a lot more physical than he was. I think a lot of it is unexpected. He didn't show anywhere in tape that he was a chipper.
Yeah.
See? Oh, but they knew they had a chip coming into this game, and he was going to make sure you don't see him. I've seen Javon Curse get ear-holed and put on his you-know-what. Because of these chips, and these guys go straight at your rib cage, and you're vulnerable because you're up there thinking you're only rushing against one guy.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, another guy appears at the last second, and boom, and it hurts, and you thinking about it. That's
meanwhile,
sure.
Chig is not doing that.
Well,
he's barely touching him as he grazes by, and he's got what 100 feels like 100 pounds on Tony Pollard.
See, this is why I'm not coaching. I would have Chig out there even on day off, out there blocking on a screenplay that he got basically run
Nick
through.
Hampton.
Yeah, he
just pushed him.
He drove you right back and just destroyed the whole play. The play would have worked.
Yeah.
All you had to do was just get in the way and just stay in his way. You didn't have to be a monster blocker like Kirby, or
Didn't have to George Kittle him.
Yeah. You could have just. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that they can't overcome because they just don't have enough talent accumulated yet.
It's a talent deficient roster ultimately because we're going to talk about this idea. I mean, obviously, a loss like that, everybody's again screaming for Brian Callahan to be fired on Titans Talkback last night on the chat. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I got into, and I love all of our callers, but I got into like an argument. It's like, who replaces him? Because ultimately, whoever replaces him is still dealing with a talent deficient roster. If nobody in this particular on this staff right now that takes over the head coaching job is going to change the trajectory of the 2025 season to becoming a playoff team or even a winning record team because this is a talent deficient roster. Doesn't mean that Brian Callahan should keep his job later on down the road and he's free from criticism. Heck no.
Oh, you just saying like right now?
They're wanting him fired now. Yeah. They were wanting him fired.
You're saying they got to wait a little while.
I don't listen. I'm not going to tell the owner what she has to do, but I will say that I think my take would be that it may be in Cam Ward's best interest just to ride it out for this year to provide stability. Maybe he needs to give up play calling. That's a whole different discussion. But I don't think if you replace him with Mike McCoy or Bones Fossil or his dad, guys with head coaching experience, or then you put in over Denard Wilson, who has zero head coaching experience, I don't think your outlook's going to change that much, and that speaks more to the talent of the roster. You may get better press conferences or more fun press conferences out of Bones Fossil, and you may have more energy on the sideline, but as far as overall win-loss totals and looking drastically different, I just don't think it's going to happen with no matter who the coach is out of this particular staff.
I forget what show it was here at the station, but they were calling in saying that he has the same record as Wisenhunt. Is that
so
true?
I'll pull that up. But
that's not true, is it?
It's true. And I'll say this is a better roster than what Wisenhunt had. It's not even close in my mind. But there's a whole different discussion about Cam Ward, about Brian Callahan, and we're going to get into it when we come back. We'll also talk University of Tennessee versus Georgia, Vanderbilt, and where they rank and how they won and how they looked. Mm-hmm. They've looked pretty good. We're going to talk about all that as the season goes on. This is, of course, Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons live out here at Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet on 104.5 The Zone.
Parents, when your teen athlete gets injured, every practice missed matters. So don't let an injury sideline you this season or even your dreams. Introducing the Edge Athletic Recovery Program, a 2-month, twice daily sublingual peptide protocol designed to help your athlete heal faster, recover stronger, and get back on the field safely. Our science-backed peptides BPC 157 and TB 500 support muscle, tendon, and ligament repair with no needles, no downtime, and no hassle. Safe for teens, non-GMO, gluten-free, and easy to take at home. Optional add-ons include M-Sculpt, functional sessions, and regenerative orthopedic treatments to accelerate recovery even more. So don't wait. Give your athlete the best shot at full return to the sport. And that's called Edge Peptide, right? At 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878. Or you can visit them online at edgepeptide.com to schedule an office consultation today. Edge Peptide Therapy knows every game, every practice, and every dream matters.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here. 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. We're here all day at Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, asking the community to fill a Ford with non-perishable food items for those in need by donating non-perishable food to benefit Second Harvest Food Bank and the Mount Juliet Help Center. This goes through September 30th, so you have plenty of time. You could drop off goods at Two Rivers Ford here in Mount Juliet, but we have another way to help you if your office would like to participate. It's the Two Rivers Ford Office Challenge, and any office that participates will be automatically entered to win a catered Pred suite for 16 people for a Predators game this season, and it's easy to participate. All you got to do is call Two Rivers Ford, 615-889-9215, and ask for Tammy Jacobs, or email tworiversford@gmail.com. And Two Rivers Ford will drop off a box at your place of business and pick it up on the 30th with their social media team to give you a special shout-out that day. And any office that participates, no matter how large or how small, will get one entry into a random drawing to win that Predator suite at the Two Rivers Ford Suite. 16 tickets, 2 parking passes, and food and non-alcoholic beverages all included. So you got to make sure that you guys reach out to Tammy Jacobs out here at Two Rivers Ford. Okay, so there's a lot I want to get into about this game, but let's start with the discussion and the philosophy around whether or not a mid-season firing of Brian Callahan is the right course of action.
Mid-season or
if you want to do today. I mean,
we're at week 3.
I mean, yeah. I mean, everybody wants him fired now, and main choice is to get Denard Wilson the job. Give him a shot, they say. And then it's like, okay, well, what about Bones Fossil? The special teams is good. Well, does the special teams drop off if he's having to have his focus elsewhere? And then obviously Bill Callahan likely not to take the job, I would assume. Maybe there's an abrupt retirement. I don't know how that all works out, just playing devil's advocate on Bill Callahan's behalf.
Well, I think it's all business. I don't think just because if you let the head coach go that the dad's going to leave because he's the old line coach. I don't believe in that.
Yeah,
I don't think that is part of the equation.
Gotcha.
That's like, oh man, you fired my husband, so you're gonna fire the wife too. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think so. If they're doing a good job, that is the question.
Well,
is he doing a good job?
Not to my knowledge. I have yet to see it.
He was supposed to be in the guru. Both of these guys are supposed to be gurus, right? That's what people say.
Well,
I didn't say you said that.
I did say it about the offensive line guru, Brian Callahan.
And I did not.
You did not. Of course, I wasn't really around when he initially got hired, but I'll be the first to say it. I thought that, hey, you hire Brian Callahan, you're likely getting Bill Callahan. That should solve your offensive line woes. Turns out it does not.
I got it all wrong. I didn't think that the Browns was going to let him go because I thought they would have been ding-dongs for doing that. So why would I do that and help another team in the AFC? And actually they did that. But that might have been the first warning to us what he really was.
Yeah, I would have to say something that the fact that I know a lot of the fans were upset that he left, the Browns fans, but the Browns letting him go. Maybe they're using it as a good PR move, but this seems to be the Browns team that doesn't really care about public relations and how they look in the public eye. So I don't know, but if you were to, I tell you one thing, Bill Callahan has not lived up to his hype. And that's been hype that he's been given over decades of experience, right? Like, this isn't just, he got hired here, the Tennessee Titans fan base and local media called him a guru, like it was for Brian Callahan. But like we have discussed on this show, and you brought up many times, well, of course, that's how he built himself, more than likely in the interview.
To sell himself, no doubt. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. The only reason why I brought up the question with Bill Callahan is because I just feel like as a coach, it's a lot easier to coach first and second rounders. And those are the players that he had success with. The true definition of what a really good coach is based off of talent is what do you do with the later round guys? And then when you go look at his history there, not so good.
Well, you see what
that's not all,
right.
But in essence, a guy with more talent should be able to elevate. So that then telling you that he can only work with elite talent players, not the average talent guys in the National Football League, which end up being really good players, some of them even better than the more talented. So that was just kind of confusing. And then his players that he wanted last year actually retiring and them cutting really says a little bit. And I've talked to players in the league that thought that he was a little overrated. I'm going to just be honest. That's what they just said. They just said, yeah, he's okay, but I don't feel like he's better than Russ Grimm or Mike Munchak or guys of that ilk. No, he's not on their level.
You look at Jeff Stoutland, who's over at the Eagles, right? I mean, he's got a seventh-round rookie left tackle, or not rookie, but seventh round as a rookie playing left tackle, and Tyler Steen, who was like, I think, a fourth or fifth round interior offensive lineman starting. Their offensive line never misses a beat.
Just look at the coaches in general. Just look at the Rams. Do you know how many fourth and fifth round guys that were out there dominating for them?
Yeah. UDFAs.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
Oh, people don't. Yeah, he was fifth round.
Yeah.
The Heights guy was undrafted, a linebacker.
Nate Landman, the other guy.
Right.
Undrafted
See?
free agent.
So what are we doing that they are doing? Why aren't we doing it?
And that defense wasn't doing anything special to confuse anybody. They lined up mano a mano and said, we can beat you every time one-on-one. We don't care who we're lined up against.
Yeah. And so what I'm getting at is it they're just getting better coaching? So, or are they getting better coaching? When you have less talent, it has to even come out even more so better coaching.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if we're there yet, and obviously we're not. We keep finding ways to lose, and that's the frustrating part. Being a former player and a Titan, it's the same thing, just different. People having mess ups. Whether it's quarterback fumbling, defense giving up explosive plays all over the place. I mean, it just keeps happening. You just start saying, man, are we, do we have enough to win regardless of who our quarterback is and who's calling plays and who's not?
Yeah, and I don't think you do, and that's why I think the argument to be made for Callahan to keep his job, not necessarily saying that he has truly earned it, is that you're taking someone out away from Cam Ward that provides a little bit of stability. Ross, if you can get the clip ready that I asked you to pull earlier today, but Cam Ward talked last night after the things, talking about how he feels he's capable, he's been given full authority and all this. Yeah. But he talks about him and Brian Callahan continuing to grow. Here's what Cam Ward had to say.
Well, I think I'm capable of a lot. Coach Callahan, he's gave me, a lot of authority. So I want more of it. And that's the relationship that, me and him are just building every day. He's only called 2 games for me. I want him to call a lot more games for me. He's one of the coaches who's going to do his best for his players, get his players in the right situation, run game, pass game. And, we just continue to grow. I think that's the biggest thing.
Is it hard to be, I don't say hard, but there's a lot of patience involved in this thing, and you're playing the long game inside the short game. Are there challenges to that?
I wouldn't even call it playing a long game. I'm trying to win every time I step on the field. That's our mindset as a team. I just think we have to, do it at a faster rate. We got to continue to have more urgency every day. We got to get better every day. It is all a process. It's all about patience. But at some point, it just comes to, you just got to go take it.
And I think that's part of the reason why I'd be willing to give, me, myself, speaking from a place of logic, is I'm willing to give Brian Callahan the season to reassess at the end, because ultimately him and Cam Ward are growing together. And ultimately you take that away, then Cam Ward has to learn maybe new language, new talking style. We don't know who the play caller will be if he were to be fired. We know who he is now. Granted, it may not be good all the time, but at least you know who it is now, and I've got experience. He's still got things he's got to work on, but I do think that Brian Callahan, there's just no option, I feel like, that changes anything drastically, so why try to blow something up that may, over time, work itself out?
Well, I don't know. I know everybody's talking about firing. Right now, that's not part of my thought process.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm still trying to get to a point where, and I thought he did a better job, and that was Callahan calling plays. This is the first time in a long time that I've been pretty comfortable now, where there's some decisions here and there you can nitpick, yes. But overall, not bad. As far as his play call.
It wasn't last week.
You're right, yeah. So I'm looking for that, because I'm looking for him to finally ignite with his quarterback this some guru that just worked with all these different quarterbacks. And so what I wanted people to be aware of, just because you work with somebody doesn't mean that you were the influencing nature of their success. Now, I'm sure you did some things, but actuality is the player ultimately did that. So just imagine, I don't know if Peyton Manning, his first year with the Colts, did they change coaching staffs or the coaching coordinators his second year, or some elite coach? Here's why I say that. I'm just using him as an example. Is elite players are going to have success regardless who the coach is. See, so whether you're changing out Callahan in the middle of the season, end of the season, whatever, it really, in my mind, doesn't matter, because I have to make a decision what's best for the team, not best for what's good for Cam Ward, because greatness doesn't matter if you change the coach or not. It's the teams who are in bad situations, they draft a quarterback high, that don't have ultimate success, and they have to keep going down this rabbit hole of changing. So you can't let fear of who will coach. Now, if I had to make a decision on who that coach is, I would go totally left. I would say it was Bones Fossil.
Yeah.
That's who I would say it is. And I don't think it'll take away from the special teams, because he's already been a CEO sitting in that position. He's already paying attention to the down and distances. He's already in the head coach's spot and window right now. And guess what? I don't want to mess up with the defense with that guy going. Guess what? I'll make the quarterback or offensive coordinator call plays. Yeah, I mean, that's how I would go about it if I was going to make a decision. Right now is not the time to be making that decision.
For the Peyton Manning thing, Jim Mora and Tom Moore made it through the first 4 years.
Right.
And they went 3-13 the first year, then they went 13-3, and then they won 10 games, and they went 6-10. So that's kind of how that 4 years of Peyton Manning went. And it wasn't pretty. It obviously wasn't pretty that first year.
Right.
But I mean, think about all the interceptions, right? Like,
I mean, he led the league in interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean,
so they chose stability.
Right.
We have seen these organizations,
but they kept the head coach.
But they kept the head coach and the offensive coordinator.
Right. But that was two different people.
No, it was Tom Moore. Oh, I get what you're saying.
It was two different
It
people.
wasn't Jim Moore. Wasn't the also calling plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. So it was a little bit different. I don't want to get caught up in the quarterback is attached to the play caller or the head coach. That, in my mind, that's not how it operates. To me, greatness is going to be great regardless. And I think you got a really good quarterback here, potentially can be at worst case scenario, he's going to be a solid starting quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think even with no matter how you may look at
okay. Well, also bad offensive line play.
Yeah,
you can look at that. All right, Joe Burrow's been bad offensive line play the entire time he's been there.
Yeah,
and how much of he's gotten hurt?
Yeah,
a lot.
See,
so you can start looking at these different variables, and to me, that's much more important than talking about him attached to a coach. You think Joe Burrow, if they fired the coach after 1 year, he was going to be good or just average or below average?
Yeah,
if they would have made the change.
Well, I think the only reason Zach Taylor's still employed is because of Joe Burrow.
Right. Well, no, they work hand in hand, but at the same time, he would have been just as good as is today without that coach.
Yeah.
See, so that's what I'm getting to. I'm not going to be beholden to a coach because he's a play caller. That's just not going to
I'm all for
decision.
Getting rid of. I mean, pretty much. I think the writing's on the wall anyway. I don't think Brian Callahan's going to be here next year unless something drastically changes. I just don't know if removing him in the middle of the season solves any of these real issues. To be honest, because I think the roster's just deficient. Yeah. That's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah. Well, with that same being said, if you thought like that, then why not continue to let them go to the next year?
Well, I wouldn't let him go next year.
Because he's going to say
because I don't think I've seen
a roster.
Yeah, well,
there's going to be a better roster.
Well, I get that that's his excuse,
right?
But I haven't seen him be able to adapt, and it's adapt or die. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he should have been fired last year. I mean, let's just call it like it is. When they fired Rand, they should have done a complete blank slate. And that really falls back, if you go read Teron Davenport's piece over at ESPN from a couple of weeks ago. I believe it's Teron Davenport. Hopefully I'm attributing that correctly. Maybe in Easton at A to Z. But they basically talked themselves into it. They were going to let Brian Callahan go, and Brinker and Bergonzi talked themselves into keeping him. And I think that was a bad mistake. I think they shouldn't have talked themselves into it. I'm sure that Brian Callahan is a nice guy and everything, but right now we have a 19-game sample size that shows he's probably just not head coach material. and you can't tie yourself to that in the long term, in my opinion.
Did we get the results of Wizenhunt or no?
Oh, I'll pull that up. I'm sure I got it.
I just
my phone?
I thought Wizenhunt was 3-20, but maybe I'm wrong. I didn't remember, but it was the team looked totally different than this team looks. This team is fighting. They're playing hard. They're not just playing smart. And the penalty issue, to me, when you're looking at it from bird's eye view, you always think the team is undisciplined and it's based off coaching. The penalties, and as much as that has nothing to do with the actual coach on the acts, just being a penalty-free type team 2 weeks in a row is not, and especially when you emphasize it off.
Well, 23 penalties for 193 yards. That's about what running backs run on this defense every game.
Oh, yeah, they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't get after the quarterback. As I told you, the first week can tell you some lies there. Now we're going to see really.
I told everybody at Titans Talkback, I was like, if week 1 has a lie in it, that game against the Broncos is that the Titans defense is as good as what they showed.
Yeah, that's
okay, so this is through their first 19 games. So it's not the whole record, but first 19 games. Points scored, Wizenhunt, 343. Callahan, 342.
You got to be
Points
kidding.
allowed, 515 under Wizenhunt. Callahan, 513.
This is wrong.
Points per game. Points per game, 18.1 under Wizenhunt. 18 for Brian Callahan. Offensive yards, 5,986 for Wizenhunt. 5,557, so almost 400 yards difference for Callahan.
Didn't we just have, how many points we had this last game?
16, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, 19.
19. They kicked the field goal at the end, right?
Why did he do that? But we'll talk about that later. But 19, and didn't they have 12 last game?
Yeah.
How did that get to 18?
Well, you got the first 19 games.
Okay.
So first 19.
But they were 18 before.
They were 18, like 0.9 or something.
Oh.
Total yards. Total touchdowns, 37 for Wizenhunt. Callahan, 34. Pass touchdowns, 28 for Wizenhunt. Callahan, 23. Turnovers, 32 for Wizenhunt. Callahan, 38. They're both 3-16 through their first 19
So
games.
they're exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Oh, wow.
Exactly the same. We'll continue the discussion when we come back. If you guys want to call in, 615-737-1045 is the number. We're live out here at 2 Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 105 The Zone. with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. I got a hot take, Blaine.
Hot take?
It's not going to make people very happy with me.
Am I going to be happy with you?
Last week, I think so. I think you may agree with me,
Okay.
but people won't care that if you agree with me. They'll only hear me as the bad guy.
Anyway.
But I mean, like they'll only attack me, even if you agree with me. They'll only attack me. So I'll fall
that
on the
never
sword
happened.
for this. But I think that last week I thought Brian Callahan and the supporting cast let Cam Ward down. I think this week Cam Ward had a rookie game. And he let down most of the plays. He was the letdown. And now when I say that, I understand two things. I'm not saying that means anything about Cam Ward as a future. I think he's the dude. I'm talking about this game in a vacuum. And I went back and watched all the plays, and he left a lot of plays on the field. We were talking about this last play right here. We were just talking about Chimere DK. And listen, there's a whole thing where he probably needed to check out of it because of the coverage they were showing. But he also had a huge running lane to get the first down, and he decided to go deep to Chimere DK. There were sacks on him. The sack fumble was definitely on him. I kind of feel like there was another sack on him earlier in the game as well. But he was late on his throws and all this kind of stuff, and the plays were there. There were plays to be had. And there was a big difference from what I saw from Cam Ward last week to Cam Ward this week. That is bound to happen in a rookie season. But when you look at what he did last week, he was able to scan the field. He did it quickly. He did not scan the field quickly, and he rarely scanned the field. He stared down a lot of his receivers or stared down one side of the field. And then the other thing was I didn't see him do a lot of stuff pre-snap to maybe change or call an audible or anything like that compared to what we saw last week. A lot of movement, right, last week. Now, is that a coaching thing? I don't know. Maybe it is. But those are two noticeable things you see on tape when you watch this game. And the Rams weren't doing any kind of trickery. No. They were just winning their one-on-one matchups. But Cam Ward left I think there were 7 ugly plays from Cam Ward, which is up 3 from last week, where I thought he had 4.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
Yes,
being a rookie quarterback.
sure.
He's going to be inconsistent, and he's going to show glimpses of greatness. Nobody else would have predicted him throwing the ball across his body for that touchdown, right? Not too many quarterbacks that would have even attempted that. That's actually in the National Football League. So let's start there, besides the elite ones. So I think that shows you promise. That shows you trust. But naturally, he's going to have some snafus throughout.
Right.
And I was wondering if it was, you say coaching, but ultimately the players are on the field, but you had a shorter window to prepare for them. You had all off seasons to Denver. Now, you may have put in some things for the Rams, but they might have changed some things up. You just never know. I don't know if that's why they look different or he looked more comfortable. Let's just say that.
Well, that's a good point, though.
So I don't know if that's true or not. I just trying to think of reasons, but at the end of the day, man, when we line up out there, they got to be on point. One thing I can say though, hey, the young guys that they've accumulated this offseason, they look pretty good.
The way that Chimere
bad.
DK sees the field on his kick and punt returns.
Yes, he's done a good job.
It's been very
good.
good.
Man, he's shown basically what we saw pretty much when there was no pads. Didn't see it consistently with pads. He's putting it together, making some spectacular catches. And it's crazy. We're talking about them more so. I mean, and Pollard played well, I thought, too, in this game.
Peter Skoronski looked really good. Now, PFF credits him with 2 pressures, but I don't know where they even got those 2 pressures from. Now, Lloyd Cushenberry, totally different discussion.
I think they had him at 30-something?
I think he was down in the 30s. Lloyd did not look good.
How about Mike Moore Jr.?
Yeah. Dan Moore, I thought, looked better.
Whoa.
Upon the rewatch. Initially, I'm like, okay, this guy's trash. Upon the rewatch, he looked better than last week. Still not what you need from a left tackle, especially when your right tackle, John Ojukwu, had those big blunders. He held his own sometimes, but he had his big blunders, and those cost, right? You can't afford to have big blunders regardless.
Right. So Ojukwu,
margin of error.
Right. Ojukwu was on the practice squad, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, remember I brought this up before, and I just wanted to see you say something, but you didn't say nothing again.
What?
Why is the practice squad guy the guy who starts? So see,
that's the thing. I wonder because why did they keep Ole? I said it that day when they did the cuts. Why are you keeping Ole? He looks worse, and they're telling you. They told you just now that hey, Ole, the guy that we decided to make sure that his veteran salary gets fully guaranteed by the team. And they chose, and instead of choosing Ojukwu, they said that guy's not worth it compared to Ojukwu. Yeah, and that's roster management, which goes to Berganzi, because Berganzi, that is his job, his final 53.
So it's not the coach.
Well, I don't know how much he listens to the coaches and how much
but that is his job title.
His job,
so he has final
responsibility.
So
that is on Berganzi.
So him. So
Draymond Jones, who has looked bad, that's on Berganzi. Arden Key, who has looked bad. Not really on Berganzi, but you didn't replace him with anything. Like, you're getting the same.
Did Arden Key get the block kick? Who was that?
Yeah, it was Arden Key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He did one good play.
Yeah, he had one good play. I mean, like, okay, you're getting the same out of Draymond Jones that you could get out of Jalen Harrell, except for it's $8 million more. That's what you're getting right now. And look, can we talk about something?
I opened up a scab, bro.
First off, I want to say this about Chimere DK. He is putting the Tennessee Titans in the best field position in the NFL on every drive. 40 average field position is on their own 41, Blaine. And they're not being able to convert on offense.
So
being on their own 41.
So it sounds like that's an offensive problem.
Yeah. But I just want to say that Chimere DK, good on him.
All right, so then
it's a positive.
Okay, no. I'm going to add to it. Okay, so where does that put you with Cam Moore? Is it a Cam Moore problem?
I think this game was. I mean, now when I say that, I want everybody to know Cam Ward's part of the problem, offensive line's part of the problem, and I think that Brian Callahan's feel the game is still part of the problem.
Right.
His instincts. But when you go back and watch the All-22, Cam Ward was a pretty big problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really decided if he's the problem yet, but he created a lot of his own pressure situations. He drifted out of the back of the pocket. There was a play, Blaine, that from where he got this ball snapped to him in shotgun, he moved 6 yards back.
Backwards or to the left?
And backwards in his drop, straight back.
Oh, so he could see the field better.
I guess, but 6 yards?
No, I have no idea.
I mean, it was 6 yards. I counted it. I paused it. I counted where he ended up in his drop.
Just think how far back me and you would have to drop to see.
I mean, that would be crazy. That's
we
crazy.
Have to get about that 15 yards.
Yeah, and then there was one where he drifted out of the back of the pocket. He drifted up into pressure towards the left. Like, there were times where that's a rookie, though, right? I mean, because we're talking about Bo Nix last year. He had 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions through his first 2 games. Rookie growing pains. But when we're talking about evaluating progress week to week, I think last week's game he looked way better than this week's game. Now, I don't know what happened throughout the middle of the week, but I think what you said brings up a really good point. They practice, since that open stadium practice, silent counts for Denver. They were all in on Denver, and the Rams presented a different challenge that maybe they weren't equipped to deal with.
Yeah, and I said the Rams defense, and they did give them problems there up front, and I thought they were, even though they don't have any superstars, I thought they were all capable starters, good average starters in the league, probably, no Pro Bowlers or anything like that, but they have some good players that play hard, that are fundamentally sound in their discipline, and those 3 things right there the Titans don't have.
No, and that's what we were promised.
Nowhere on the
right?
team, and that's the issue. So you go, okay, eventually it's the players when they're out there, but man, that means you need to be practicing all these little small habits and things that you've been taught, and then if they don't, then you got to put somebody else out there. Like, that's just the way it is. I know it's not that easy
it's
because
not easy
the backup
and the
is
roster.
not as good, right? I mean, so at the same time, sometimes the guy with less talent is much more disciplined. You know what you're getting, and as a coach, you want to trust that and trust in that. So these guys with these super duper talents, man, need to play way above or make some plays to compensate for some of maybe their risk taking.
Yeah.
And it's just not showing up. I don't like that.
Well, when we come back, I want to build on top of what you just said, because not all 0-2 starts are created equal. We knew the Tennessee Titans were going to start 0-2, but did we think they were going to look like this? This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons out here at Mount Juliet, Tennessee, over at Two Rivers Ford on Belinda Parkway. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here at 105 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all 4 Seasons Garage stores. 615-737-1045. You want to get in on the conversation. Do you feel better or worse about the Denver game, or do you feel better or worse about the Rams game? Like, how do you, which loss was better? 615-737-1045. And if you're
which loss was better?
Yeah. If you're going to call in and say that Brian Callahan should be fired, give us your plan for after Brian Callahan's fired. We're not just going to be like, well, I don't know. You got to give us a plan. But we're out here at Two Rivers Ford, 76 Belinda Parkway in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, to kick off Fill a Ford Food Drive, happening now through the end of this month, September 30th, right here at Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford is asking for your help in collecting non-perishable food items to benefit Second Harvest Food Bank and the Mount Juliet Help Center as they help to feed those who need it most in our community. Here's how easy it is. Next time you're at the grocery store, like Publix, Kroger, wherever you may get it, pick up a couple extra cans of food, things like canned tuna, chicken or salmon, protein bars, low-sodium soups or chili. Didn't know that part because I don't think anything I got was low-sodium. I got heart-healthy soup. Maybe that will be good. Dried beans or rice and boxes of cereal. Anything that could be stored and served over the next few months, and then drop it by the dealership in the F-150 displayed right up front, right in front of us. You can't miss it. They'll post a photo of it on their Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Anything, and you have until the end of the month to do this, so anytime between now and September 30th, it's all part of the Ford Motor Company's Global Caring Month initiative and the world's largest dealership food drive. So there you go. Okay, so 0-2, right? Like the Tennessee Titans are 0-2. That is no surprise to really anybody, right? Like, we all understood that this team more than likely was going to be 0-2. I think we both predicted it. Now, do you still feel like this team is a 5 or 6 win team? That may be a little bit different, but that's what we're kind of. I mean, I find it a little bit more difficult to find those wins right now with the current state of the offense and the defense, but maybe special teams can win one.
Where's the schedule?
And it's a little difficult. But I will say this. I've had a lot of people push back on this idea that we should be upset or fans should be mad because we all knew they were going to be 0-2. We all knew these were going to be great defenses that they were going to face. But my thing is that feels like excuse-making for Callahan and for this team because we were promised a totally different product on the field than what we were given. We were told that this team was going to be more disciplined, and they have 23 penalties for 194 yards.
Ooh.
193 yards. 23 penalties for 193
Kirby,
yards.
you coaching these guys, man? Get those penalties. Those penalties. Yeah, he said he would. No way.
We were told the offensive line was going to be better, and they've allowed 11. Cam Ward has been sacked 11 times. Now, some of those are on Cam Ward, but let's just call it like it is. This offensive line has not looked as good. It's barely been able to even make lanes for running the ball, like Tony Pollard is having to plow through guys, right? We were told that this was going to be an explosive offense, and there have been a lot of opportunities left on the field. We were told this is going to be a more efficient passing attack. And again, I feel like in Game 1, there wasn't a lot of outlets for Cam Ward. Game 2, there was, but he didn't take them. And so we were told this was going to be efficient, disciplined. We were told this defense was going to be able to stop the run, and they're allowing the 4th highest total per game, 150 yards per game. And they said, we're going to stop the run because we're going to make them be 3rd and long, and that will allow our slow, below-average pass rushers be able to get there and pin their ears back and get there. That hasn't happened.
Give us your numbers. What are their numbers?
I got 1 sack per game, so they're going to have 17 sacks right now by the end of the season. So that's not even working. And I have to say, I haven't watched the defensive tape, but where was Jeffrey Simmons yesterday, by and large? I mean, Amani Hooker's the one who got the sack.
Oh, yeah, he tapped it, when he ran by. Yeah.
So, again, consistency, right? We were told this was going to be a totally different team. We knew it was going to be 0-2, but I was not expecting this kind of 0-2.
Well,
sorry, that was a very long-winded. I apologize.
Well, for me, I definitely didn't think they would. I definitely knew they were going to probably be 0-2. Yeah, you got to look at the teams they're playing based off last season. I was hoping they could squeak out a win there in Denver early on. I thought Rams were a better team and they had a guy, veteran, pulling the trigger. Stafford. That was going to be a much bigger task. Wasn't going to be able to fool him. So I was hoping 1-1, But on to not surprised at all. But I am surprised that I don't think about what coaches promise. All I do is look at what the actions provide because, they're going to tell you what you want to hear. So at the same time, the actions aren't backing up what he said. And, the players are the one out there going out there getting the penalty. So, there's a part of me, man, this 2 weeks in a row, guys would be running at practice.
Makes you wonder what is going on at practice.
Right, because
as far as punishment-wise.
Because if you believe all your coaches are doing all the little small detailed things to their players, and then the players are then following up, and then they're still getting these penalties, that's a whole nother story. But if they're not, then there's got to be repercussions for this. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Those penalties alone are costing them, killing drives, getting them behind the chains, whether it's offense or defense. So, yeah, I think it's past that point. I think now it's the time to do something.
So 13 penalties last week, 10 penalties this week. I guess 7 penalties
Watch
next week.
And I wouldn't bring it up. I wouldn't bring up penalties at all in the team meeting on Tuesday.
Now, why is that?
I mean, on Wednesday. Because enough has been said about that, I'm sure, by the coaching staff. Yep. Guess what? I'm going to do reverse psychology. I'm not going to bring it up at all, see if we get any or, less than we've been getting. I mean, man. I guarantee you these coaches are going there, hey, we cannot do this, we can't do this. And and you keep doing it?
Well, how much is it because there's all kinds of different categories of penalties, right?
Yes, there are.
How much is it because, they're just outmatched everywhere? They're out-talented, so they're reaching and grabbing.
With the ones that players are in control, the false starts.
Yeah.
Holding penalty. No, maybe even the Cedric Gray, it was questionable in my mind. But they said,
I thought that was a bad call.
But they say the rule says, yeah. So
bad rule in my opinion.
Those things happen, but just some of the unnecessary personal fouls or late hits, any of those things that are controlled by you as the individual. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about, you held and they called it and they probably shouldn't have called it or wasn't part of the impact in the play. No. But if, you held, you held. So, yeah. Unforced, I would call them unforced errors more so than anything else. And, man, I don't even know. What did Callahan say about the penalties issues?
He said... Do you really want to know? It's not a good answer.
And I was just like,
a good answer.
I don't think he's going to tell me anything that I believe in anyway.
Last night, this morning, I couldn't hear the whole press conference, so I'm not sure if Ross and Joseph. Ross, do you know if we have any clips about Callahan talking about penalties? Okay, can you play those clips?
The end result is the controlling the controllable ones. You're going to get called for holding. Defensive players are going to get called for defensive pass interference. That's just the way some of it's subjective. It depends on the crew. All that stuff. Those are the ones you don't necessarily have control of. But the ones that you do, the pre-snap and post-snap, alignment, those types of things. You can, we jumped off sides 3 times yesterday, and those are 5-yard penalties. And on a 1st and 10, now it's 1st and 15, and now it's 2nd and 10, and now it's 3rd and 8. Those are the rhythms you're trying to break. And ultimately, are penalties predictive of wins and losses? Are they predictive for playoff teams? It's a little bit looser in the penalty thing than it is per se like the turnovers, right? Turnovers are incredibly predictive. That's good teams turn the ball over, they make the playoffs. If you don't take care of it, you don't win games. That's tried and true NFL formula for every team in the league. The penalty part is a little bit more variant. There's not as many concrete things that you say less penalties equals more wins. That's not necessarily the case, but there is a brand of football that you try to play where you're not beating yourself. And that's happened for us a few times as we're trying not to put ourselves in position to lose games. We're trying to win them. And so you have to start there by taking care of the things that don't get you beat. And I think ultimately that's where the emphasis started and what we landed on is that's how you have to improve your football team is taking care of the things you can control. Because there's a lot of things you can't. But the things that we can, we've got to do a better job of controlling.
So he talks about it, and the night before he says, I don't know why we're getting so many penalties. He's like, I don't understand it. He's like, I don't get it. And I think it's because he's thought he did everything on his end that he could do.
That's all he can do.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, though, I saw someone, I don't know who it was in the chat, just that saw it, but they said, well, good teams don't get offensive holding as much as the Tennessee Titans do. Okay, well, the Tennessee Titans have 3 offensive holding penalties counted against them. New England, 7. Arizona, 6. Green Bay, 6. Buffalo, 5. Dallas, 5. Indianapolis, 5. Chicago, 4. Jacksonville, 4. Kansas City, 4. So those guys are all more than Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans.
Kansas City is 0-2.
Yeah, so like Tennessee Titans are, let's see, hold on, 89 divided by 32. They're 2.8 is the average for offensive holding penalties, and they're at 3. So it's not like that in that particular stat, it's not been that egregious this year. But it's maybe false starts or worse, or maybe it's the holding by the defensive backs and stuff like that, pass interference and stuff like that. There's a myriad of penalties. I mean, you got 23 penalties. 3 of them are offensive holding. But, like, that's, again, other teams have to go through this, but other teams have the talent to overcome it. And I just don't think this team is at that point yet. They have a quarterback I feel confident will grow into the guy that can overcome this. Because Baltimore, at times, and Baltimore has been one of the most penalized teams, top 10 every year. And they find ways to overcome it because they're a way more talented team. And I think that's what the issues really come down to for this Tennessee Titans team, is that there's just no talent.
Well, it's just not talent.
Not talent, but like...
Yeah, they don't have enough to overcome continuous mistakes and unforced errors. And, that's where they're at. So, to me, then, you have to be much more disciplined, detail-oriented, smarter team, and you can win some of these games. It's not always the best athletes that win these games. That's why it's called a team sport. So you got to out-coach them. You got to outsmart them as players. You got to win your one-on-one matchups. Doesn't mean you can't win your one-on-one matchups in theory over the entire game. Yeah. You're going to lose some plays.
Well, look at L'Jarius Sneed. He lost plays. They were big plays, but for the most part, he played 55 snaps and played pretty well.
Good. Right. According to PFF, he played like crap.
Yeah,
and I can't believe
that's why I tell you about the game back with those grades.
Some of this stuff is just ridiculous. The people believe this stuff.
Yeah.
And then guess what now? Sometimes it bleeds into negotiations for your contract.
Right.
That's horrible. I think he probably caught 60 yards on him or something. I don't know what it was, but
I'm sure it's like 90 something. I think is what it ended up being, maybe over 100.
But I'm talking about directly on Sneed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think the bulk of it was. But, I mean, it was only like he only allowed, I think, 3 for 9 or something like that. And I think about all the times they couldn't go to him.
Well, see,
and he got away with some, too.
I'm going to bring up this point.
Yeah.
There was a play where Sneed jammed him inside and let him go.
Yeah.
But naturally, Sneed, it looked like it was covered too. It dropped, and then the safety kind of came over late. Who are they blaming on that play?
I bet they're blaming Sneed.
Right, and I don't think that was his responsibility.
And I agree, because I do think that there were those plays. I want to talk about L'Jarius Sneed. Let's hold off on this.
Right.
I want to talk about L'Jarius Sneed and the misconception about his game yesterday. And I want to talk more about this 0-2 start. There's a lot we still got to get to. And we still got to talk about University of Tennessee and Georgia and Vanderbilt as well.
That was a game that they played?
They played. Listen, I got a good story about being a hibachi during the University of Tennessee-Georgia game. We got all that when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We're here all day at Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, asking our community to fill a Ford with non-perishable food items, those in need, by donating non-perishable food to benefit Second Harvest Food Bank and the Mount Juliet Help Center. This goes through September 30th, so you got plenty of time. And guess what? If you're a business, they will bring a box to you, a donation box, and they will come and pick it up September 30th. And for every box that, or every business that does this donation, you get entered in a drawing for a Preds Two Rivers Ford suite. 16 tickets, 2 parking passes for a Preds game in a suite, free food and non-alcoholic beverages as well.
With Zach Lyon been there?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe we'll both be there.
There you go. To participate in that, call Two Rivers Ford right now, 615-889-9215, and ask for Tammy Jacobs or email tworiversford@gmail.com. So we were just watching the Jordan Whittington play where he gets 40 yards deep on L'Jarius Sneed. We see that they sent Jordan Whittington in motion. They're obviously in zone coverage. Sent Jordan Whittington in motion from the other side. That ended up him and Davante Adams end up going deep, putting Amani Hooker in conflict, who was the lone deep safety out there, because they sent Xavier Woods in on a blitz. On the blitz. The linebackers didn't feel like they adjusted, but ultimately this feels like this is on Sneed. Where some people may think that it's on Amani Hooker because he points over there.
Yeah,
but it may be on Sneed.
It confused me for a second there. I thought they were playing 3 deep, but guys didn't adjust on the motion from Whittington, across the formation. And to me, then the linebackers are supposed to slide over.
Yeah.
And then their gap changes with that, so their drop zones, they weren't. They were too close together. And then I thought Sneed lost vision. Looks like the way he opened up, like he was playing cover 2. He's reading 2. But it looks like he's 3, really, and he's supposed to be over the top if they run 2 verticals. And he lost track of Whittington and didn't even keep him in his vision, which is a technical issue to me. It looked like he was trying to steal, out by
hoping that he was going to get an interception.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he took the
and
bait.
lost track of Whittington.
Yeah,
and Amani Hooker was put into conflict because he didn't know
if he had a man. He was trying to cover. He's the
trying
last
to cover
guy.
Adams, right? Like he's trying to cover Adams, and then the ball's in the air towards Whittington. Now he's got to be over there somehow magically. Can't be at 2 places at once.
I'd love to hear what that coverage should have been.
Yeah, that's maybe a question we can get asked this week of Denard Wilson. But overall, including this play, obviously, L'Jarius Sneed played a ton of snaps. I think 55 snaps. He won some. He lost some.
Yeah, I thought he was
But it's
solid.
Against Davante Adams, too.
Right. Yeah, he's going to have a yellow jacket. I think he played solid. This is, to me, now finally, this is a baseline where we want Sneed right here. This is the worst he should play. I don't think he played bad, but I mean, okay, this is average based off of pay, what he's getting. So from here on out, as long as he stays healthy, I want to see him productively starting getting better and better along the way. He made some good plays in the goal line. I think he had a PBU. Naturally, they called some balls, but he was right there. He was real sticky to me. So I thought, that's a good matchup for him, Adams, because they both are long and tall guys, and they're really competing out there in a good way at the same time. And, Adams got him on just a little stutter delay for the touchdown, and he relaxed just for a split second. Whenever a receiver outside releases and they go down about 10 and then they act like they're going to run a curl, and he kind of stopped and stuttered and then just burst it. Always say this to myself because I was overly aggressive. Never see the fake, whether you're on the line or within, because they're doing it for a reason, because that means you're in good position. See, so then that got him then ahead of Sneed.
Yeah.
First they were even when he stuttered, then he got ahead of him. And actually, Sneed was on top of him, so he had nowhere to go. So he stuttered, and they gave him a chance. He bursted. Next thing you know, because I was wondering how he got so far away from Sneed when the ball's coming in there, and we're just looking at TV copy. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, well, that's how he got to space. It wasn't because he just outran, because I thought, Sneed must have missed a jam at the line or something. Wasn't that. It was halfway through the route.
Yeah. I mean, I thought from the broadcasting, my takeaway was, okay, Davante Adams 8. I got his. I guess is a better way to put it. PFF has it. I mean, again, PFF.
Right.
3 for 7 for 61 yards with Devontae Adams, and then the 40-yard touchdown to Jordan Whittington. It's not what you want, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But that's really, he won more in my mind. Now, the ones he lost were big, right? It's a touchdown. That's a big one to lose. But we're talking about second game back, first full game back since October of last year, and I thought he put out a B- performance.
It was a decent effort. Here's why the Titans can't win games like this.
Yeah.
It's exactly what Snead did on this Winnington play.
Yeah.
They're trying too hard to make a play instead of just playing in the structure of what's called offensively or defensively. Do your job.
Yeah.
It sounds real mundane, but just do your job and then play football. Don't try to make something, and that's not your job. If somebody catches an out and that's not your job, don't try to go make something out of nothing.
Well, and that's what he's kind of talked about over this last year, Brian Callahan, including last year's mastery.
It's hard
mundane.
now because you start saying, we got to make a play, I'm going to be the one, I'm going to make the play. Well, you can't do that.
Well, some of Cam Ward's best plays came in the fourth quarter in my mind. Now, obviously, the Elikai Manners touchdown pass is going to get all the attention. But the best plays in my mind...
Well, now the quarterback can do that.
Yeah,
the quarterback
yeah. But the plays in my mind that I thought were his best plays where he snapped the ball, set his feet, decisive, took about 5 or 7 yards. It's not going to be sexy, but those are the plays he's got to take more of when they're available to him like that.
Yeah.
Those were his
that's
best
frustrating
throws.
to the defense.
Yeah.
By the way, that's called taking the gimmies.
Right.
Every defense has a weakness, and you just got to exploit it until they get frustrated, and then they want to do something else because they want to stop that. They don't want you to keep dumping it down to the running back, and he's getting 5 yards a clip or throwing it out, just moving the chains.
Yeah.
They're going to eventually start saying, we're going to mano y mano, and we're going to get you.
Yeah, 1st and 10. Good decisive throw to Ridley. He drops back, plants and delivers. This is in the fourth quarter. This is after he had his worst outing, the 3-and-out, where he went incomplete. And those throws were on him. And then he comes back in that next series in the fourth quarter. He's good, decisive, and he's just like snap, plant foot, throw. There's Ridley for 10 yards. Snap, plant foot, throw. There's Chig for 6 yards. Snap, plant foot, throw. There's Chig for 8 yards. And he got 2 first downs right off the bat. And I look at that, and he kind of did a couple with Van, too. Van had 2 5-yard catches that were snap, plant,
So
deliver.
this is the last drive?
Near the last drive. This may have been 2 drives or in the final 2 drives. But at the end of the day, that's what he was doing so well. And those are
they
just
may have
as
been
good.
playing a different defense, though, at that
probably.
time.
But you got to take what the defense gives you.
Right.
And sometimes Cam Ward has shown that throughout this game, at least, he didn't want to do that in some instances. There are times where he took a sack when he had Chig coming wide open. There's times where he had Gunnar Helm wide open and he didn't throw to him. I mean,
Did he look at him?
No, that's the issue. He didn't scan the field and go through his progressions.
Well, okay, so here's what I do when I watch. Okay, where does his head start? Because Gunnar Helm was the last guy on the, reading. So every play somebody's going to be open after you throw the ball or don't throw the ball.
So this
doesn't mean that person was part of the progression read, is what I'm getting at.
Right, so this was 4th and 1, and this was where he scrambled. So it was under center. He was a motion. They got some pre-snap motion. They did play action. And it was the backside plays where the action is going. So he's moving to his right. The backside is where the action is going over to the left. And he has Helm wide open. He probably could have thrown it. Now, there was a rusher coming at him, right? So the rusher coming at him was the free rusher that they usually allow to come at him, kind of like in that play in the touchdown last week. Except for it's coming from the play side. And he probably could have made it. Now, listen, he may have got hit. May have got a penalty off of it. But you could have made the throw to Gunnar Helm. And maybe that's too much of a throw that he's not ready to make. Maybe that's a year 2 Cam Ward kind of throw, a year 3 kind of Cam Ward throw. But that's still a throw that
he made that play all the way across the field.
I know. Like to me, it's like I've seen him do it, so I know he can do it.
Yeah.
But can he do it consistently? And that's the thing.
Well, he was probably said, "Nah, I can't try this still again. I'll hold back. I'll just take it." Yeah, I don't find him being afraid to take a shot and getting hit on a throw. So Yeah, it's just this is what we're going to get. We're
Right.
going to get inconsistency.
It's growing pains.
No doubt.
No doubt. All right, let's talk. I do want to say this. I thought the distinguished gentleman in the chat, the F&M Bank chat, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, when we were talking about penalties, he said the issue is we don't have the horses to overcome those mistakes, or the heroes. No, he said horses. The horses to overcome those mistakes.
Hero.
And he followed that up. We have to play perfect, and this is not a perfect football team.
Yeah, and we're never gonna play perfect.
Right.
So we got to play a team that we either force more mistakes or they make more mistakes on unforced errors.
Yeah.
And so what teams are those going to be? The low bottom of the barrel, let somebody has a bad day and overlooks the Titans, right?
I mean, we haven't got to our Colts preview, but what I thought was going to be a pretty competitive maybe win for the Tennessee Titans is definitely looked like it could be bad.
Well, it's a division game. It's always going to be
I know,
a tight game.
rivalry hijinks is what you're kind of hoping
It's always gonna
for.
be a good one.
All right, speaking of rivalry hijinks, University of Tennessee versus Georgia.
Oh.
Now, I agree with Lucas.
What did he say?
And he says that, hey, I feel pretty good about this loss. Now,
Oh.
I don't feel good about how, Josh Heupel really didn't help set up his kicker on the right hash or the correct hash mark that he knows that he can make it from. That to each his own. But this is a team that looks like
to win it in regulation.
To win in regulation. This looks like a team that is going to get college football playoff material written all over him, in my mind. What do you think?
What timeout did Josh Heupel admit that he made that mistake, or how did you
to be
find
honest,
that out?
I do not know if he
Admitted
that mistake or not.
That's just people are saying that on Twitter.
No, I mean, I think he made the mistake.
Oh, okay.
I think he made the mistake.
Oh, so you talk to the kicker?
Well, I know that that kicker, from what I've been told by diehard University of Tennessee fans, that is definitely not the hash he wants to kick from.
Oh, okay.
And he's not very accurate from that hash. So
we're assuming that he did know because
Yeah.
that's his job to know.
that's his job to know.
Dang it! Oh man, I felt so bad for that kicker too. Was it Gilbert? Is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a tough one, and then he made the one in the overtime. But yeah. There's no goodwill to me in a loss.
Okay.
For me, hey, we came close. It shows that now the talent level is somewhat the same, and I thought Tennessee should have won the game. The better team didn't win the game, but the team that made the clutch plays at the end won it, and that's kind of
Even the Kirby Smart even said that
they weren't the better team. They weren't the better team on that day, and that shows you how sometimes score. What happens in a game doesn't reflect it. Just like I didn't even ask you. How did Cam Ward have a average to below average, percentage of passer rating?
Yeah.
What was it, like 50-something?
It was 50-something completion percentage, but like 86.2 passer rate.
Right. See, so I didn't feel like I'm watching a game where he was throwing inaccurate passes.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel that, and that's a feel thing. And I think it was more so having a feel for calling plays there with Callahan in critical moments. I think this time might have helped Cam out. Maybe Cam wasn't comfortable, with some of the calls, and he just went along with it and just tried to throw to a guy he knew. You just never know. But back to the Georgia-Tennessee, I would feel good that I think now I know, believing that Georgia's a top talented team and is going to be a playoff contending team, that we are definitely a playoff contending team. That's how I would feel. Now, if that makes you feel good about the loss, I'm never going to say, oh, man, I feel good about losing to Georgia.
I can tell you Jackson didn't yesterday. He was at the studio, and he was not in a good mood.
Oh, yeah. Bananas felt the same way, right, Bananas?
He said he curled up in a ball and cried.
Yeah, he said he just rolled down the freeway, the exit ramp. So, hey. I think now the question is that is, are they a playoff contending team? Is your expectations now changed in your playoff team?
I would say that so. And I would say this. Let's give Joey Aguilar some flowers. I mean, he looks pretty good. I mean, out there. I mean, like, not perfect or anything, but he looks like he kind of reminds me the best of all the quarterbacks, like Joe Milton. He's got a little bit of Joe Milton to him. He's got a little bit of Hendon Hooker, but he's got that Josh Dobbs mentality. You get what I'm saying? Got that leadership, that never say die attitude. And I think you can go far as a football team with Joey Aguilar for a guy that had to prove it, right?
Yeah.
We asked him to prove it, he proved it. So we got to give at least say that.
Yeah,
at least in one game.
Yeah, I thought we haven't seen him on the road in a hostile environment,
right?
So that's the next test, but that's the final test. I would say he's shown that he's a cool customer, that he can protect the football. Mostly, there was one thing that kind of stood out, and I know people are not going to pay attention to this, and it's just me being the former DB that I am, is that on a couple of those deep balls that they call pass interference on, he underthrew those balls.
Yeah, he doesn't have.
And he did it in the Syracuse game too.
Yes.
And so that's 3 times now I'm seeing this on guys now. Just imagine if the pass interference didn't happen or didn't catch the ball and keep running because the guy said, "Oh, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pass interference." He's underthrowing. Now that's been a benefit to the Vols because the guy can't see. The defender can't see the ball. But in hindsight, if the guy's running stride for stride with him behind him and he has vision too, those are underthrown balls. So I would say, we got to get that corrected because those type of plays will be the difference in you winning games. Yep. And that's being really picky, but they've definitely got him one, a cool customer, tough. I said that from film. You could see all of that in film, that this guy was tough. Now, could he protect the football is a whole nother story, and he's shown that he can do that. So, especially under the environment that playing in the SEC, he's definitely shown more than I ever expected.
What'd you think of Gunnar Stockton? Because I thought that one of the things that we talked about on Friday was the fact that maybe they're not showing a lot of Gunnar Stockton the first 2 games because they got Tennessee because the first 2 games are kind of patty cake kind of games. And he came out in a hostile environment and looked pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm a big Gunnar Stockton guy. And the reason why I say that is because when he got into the playoff game last year, it was the first time I even heard of him. I thought he was put in a tough situation when Beck got hurt.
Yeah.
And he went out there and actually played fairly well, considering he didn't play very much during that season. And so that made me say, man, he got in that kind of environment and pressure and looked okay. He didn't look great. He looked okay. And I'm like, well, dang, he just came right off the bench and just, okay, well, the future looks bright to me for him. And I would have a lot of confidence if I was coaching. Like, hey, man, I think we could put this guy out here. He was out in the playoff game and did halfway decent. So, and that's what he showed there now. I mean, he can run. He didn't get to throw as much. He leaned into what he's more comfortable with, which was running. But, he could throw, too, as well. So, he showed that. And I was actually kind of surprised, really, that he did so well throwing the football. But they had some guys out, too, as well in the secondary.
Jaden Daniels suffered a knee sprain yesterday, and J.J. McCarthy suffered an ankle sprain last night. That's I know that's a little off topic, but I just wanted to that's some breaking news that's hitting the NFL right now.
Yeah, that's breaking news, but none of those guys play in the AFC.
That's true. I don't think the Tennessee Titans play him,
we
right?
need all the help we
yeah.
get.
Yeah, where's Daniel Jones's ankle sprain?
Oh, no, and he hadn't even they haven't even punted the ball yet.
Haven't even punted. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the best football team in Tennessee, Vanderbilt football. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
What are you talking about? What to know about a place where European Auto Repair doesn't feel like European Auto Repair? Well, hey, it's Blaine Bishop to tell you about the moment you walk into Eurofix. You'll notice Eurofix is not your typical greasy garage. Waiting rooms, they're clean, comfortable, inviting. Service areas are spotless. Why? Because Eurofix cares about everything from how you are treated to how your vehicle is treated. And every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repairs, and Eurofix performs at all times and at below dealer pricing. And you don't have to put up with the dealer prices or get ghosted when waiting on a callback. Eurofix also fixes everything European, plus rental cars are available with every appointment, located all over the state of Tennessee in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or online at myeurofix.com. That's myeurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Store. 615-737-1045 is the number. We're out here at 76 Belinda Parkway, Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Two Rivers Ford for the kickoff of Fill a Food Ford Drive happening right now all the way to September 30th. You have time to go to the grocery store, bring in some non-perishable items, and put them in the back of this beautiful Ford F-150.
Yeah. Kirby was up there trying to get in and leave, but he said that they took the keys out of there.
We week 1 of Lions Best Bets, the Lions Den Best Bets.
The Lions Den, I love that.
Went 4 for 5. 4 for 5.
What?
Yeah, I hit 4 of the 5 bets. I told y'all I would.
No
and
way.
The only one that let me down was Vanderbilt and South Carolina at 48.5 of the over. It's the only one that let me down of the 5 main ones.
Okay.
The first one, or that bonus bet of each team scoring a touchdown in each half, it looked really good in the first half, and then Arkansas couldn't score anything against Ole Miss afterwards. But Vandy, South Carolina, while Vandy put on a butt whooping on South Carolina, especially after they knocked out Lenore Sellers, that moves them to 3-0, 20 in the AP football poll. Vandy is looking like the best team in the Tennessee.
No, this is not. But Bananas, what was you about to say? He just said
he wants to take credit for the Bowling Green bet because he got it into me.
Oh, you want to say the Bowling Green bet?
I hadn't had a chance to look at all the bets, and he just wanted to give me one, so I told him I'd put one in there.
But did you hear what he just said, that Vanderbilt's better than Tennessee in the state of Tennessee?
The best football team in Tennessee.
Yeah, best football.
Put him on a neutral field.
Who you think wins? Who would be favored? Since
I'm
you're
not betting.
Lions Den best bets.
Tennessee will obviously be favored, but I'm not betting against Vanderbilt. I wouldn't bet against Vanderbilt on any day of the week right now.
How much do you think they would be favored by? Tennessee?
4.5 points.
On a neutral side?
On a neutral side. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, hey, Vanderbilt, man, anchor down, man. Those guys brought the wood to the woodshed, man. I could not believe. I was like, I thought it was going to be a close game because of the environment and everything else. Oh, man, what's your guy? Was it Sellers? He got knocked out? Then it was.
I think the real question, yes, Sellers got knocked out. I think the real question is, could Vanderbilt beat Tennessee Titans? I'm just kidding.
You just made me think of something. This is bad.
Fire Brian Callahan, hired Clark Lee for Tennessee Titans.
I was just about to say, switch staffs.
Yeah.
The entire staffs. Now, Vanderbilt's winning in the SEC, so they got to be smarter coaches than the other guys.
With lesser talented players, so they got to coach around.
They're getting closer, but they're definitely not where all of the SEC is. So you would say it's coaching and what they're doing and getting those guys to be motivated and to play somewhat mistake-free, unforced errors, let me say that.
I will say this. Me and my wife, we were watching the Any Given Saturday documentary, and she looked at me, she goes, well, why don't y'all just hire Clark Lee? And I go, well, I mean, he is just coaching in the SEC. I don't know if he's ready for the NFL, but I mean, a casual watcher is seeing him motivate, seeing him coach, and seeing him do stuff with Vanderbilt.
And see how disciplined they play.
Mm-hmm.
And their assignments and everything else. So, that would be more of an interesting question.
Yeah. So I got a story. So I was at Hibachi on Saturday for the end of the University of Tennessee Georgia game. And this guy walks in. We're sitting at the table. We're with my niece and nephew and brother-in-law.
Okay.
And we're having conversations. They're talking about some fundraiser or whatever. And this guy walks in wearing a Tennessee pullover. He's got the game on his phone. I go, are you guys still up 38-30? Because Georgia had just gotten the ball back by the time we sat down. He just goes, yeah. And that was it. I mean, he wasn't much of a talker. That guy needs to work on his social skills. He's one of those people that only eats chicken and rice at Hibachi. And then his girlfriend or maybe his wife sits down next to him, and she's got the game on her phone, and watching their reactions while we're also we got 2 shows during dinner. We got the Hibachi show, and we got them reacting to the missed field goal, then to the overtime.
So what was that like?
She got up and left the table at some point. I don't know if she went and cried in the bathroom or whatever. And of course, he wasn't talking regardless whether it was a win or a loss, I guess. He was just going to sit there like this the whole time, like a bump on the log. But
did they have on UT gear?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, she wasn't wearing it. She looked like she was maybe coming off of work or going out to work, but he had full-on UT gear on. And they were definitely rooting for UT. So we got dinner and a show times 2.
Oh. So, Bananas, how did you guys react with the loss? Like, where do you sit, first of all, with the kicker missing? The field goal in regulation, and then the loss in overtime. Just give us your overall view of being a UT graduate and fan.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I have no issue with Max Gilbert. That was his first ever kick in that type of situation. He's a sophomore. So, and the offense kind of botched setting him up at the end.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's saying Heupel knew that wasn't his favorable side.
They tried. The play that got the false start, Joey Aguilar was going to set up on the right side. And there was a false start. They got pushed back. And I think Heupel got scared that they were going to get another false start, and so he said, screw it.
He got scared they were going to get another false start?
I think he was, because they were already getting back into Max's max range.
Oh, gotcha.
And so I think he got scared and said, I can't risk another penalty. Let me just throw the kicker out there while we're still in his range. And I think that got
so you had a down left.
He had 7 seconds and 2 timeouts left and plenty of downs because he was like second down.
Oh, yeah, I was listening to it on the radio there.
Yeah, so I'm fine with Max Gilbert. I've got no ill will towards him. That was his literally had never had a game tying or go-ahead kick at all last year, not once. This is his first kick in that situation. It's a lot of pressure, and then when the offense botches it up to start, that's even more pressure.
Is it fair to say that he gets paid to kick for pressure?
He does. I mean, you are expected to make that. So I mean, like,
we need to look up how much NIL money he gets.
Right. I don't know what he got. But I'm just saying now that kind of changes as time goes on. We'll stop saying, it doesn't matter. He's getting paid to make kicks.
In the moment, I was mad. Afterwards, I don't have any ill will.
No, okay. So. But then after losing the game, how did you feel about that? How many things did you break in your house?
No, I literally went silent. Like I didn't want to. Like I was mopey. I turned mopey. I had this.
That's how I was after the Florida State.
I had
loss.
this pit.
I just didn't talk.
Couldn't believe you were numb.
I was numb.
Just this pit sitting in your stomach, just like feeling like.
Because you're like, what did you watch?
It is right there, right there. 8 straight wins. Kirby and Georgia had over Tennessee, and it was in your hands. And it just.
Do you remember the time y'all won?
Yeah, 2016 was the Hail Mary. I remember exactly where I was.
Oh, that was awesome there, man.
Yeah, so I really want that feeling back again, and I guess we'll have to wait till next year. So.
Or maybe just, win in the playoffs. Maybe you'll see him in the playoffs or the SEC championship.
Well, I do think that a 10-2 record for this team, 100% realistic if they play like that every game.
Right, so now they're a playoff team.
If they play like that, 100%.
Right.
100%.
Well, that's the bar now. They have to play there.
We've
agree. Seen them play there.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah. So, dang, that changed.
If they got there with Nico.
That changed from the beginning of the season, right?
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Right, that's what I'm getting
Because we've seen Joey Aguilar now.
Right.
If they got there with Nico, they've got to get there with Joey. Yeah. They've just got to. He is so much better in that offense.
Yeah.
So much better.
But he was a no-star. See? So what does that tell you about the stars?
Don't matter. You got to fit the system.
Let me tell you something.
There you go.
I find recruiting and following recruiting to be the most overrated aspect of college football.
And people live and die by
it. They do, but I find it so overrated, and I find it so worthless.
Yep. They didn't have stars, but I was a no-star too.
All right, that will do it for us. Reminder that we're out here at Mount Juliet, 2 Rivers Ford, 76 Belinda Parkway. And Phil Ford, we're going to be out here all day. 3HL's coming up next. We'll be out here to 6 p.m. And you have until September 30th to donate canned meat, protein bars, low-sodium soups or chilies, dried beans or rice, and boxes of cereal. This has been Covered 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. And in the meantime.
And in between time. Peace.